Okay. Mic check, mic check. Everything looks like it's doing okay. We are about 3 minutes or so until they start doing national anthem and roster announcement. So we're getting pretty close to getting started here. Super excited. You can hear the teams there getting ready, getting pumped up. I hope everyone at home watching is pumped up too. This is very exciting. For the first time, we are finally able to live broadcast Rodeo City Roller Girls as they take on Jet City. We welcome all of our viewers and hopefully the future viewers who will be showing up on the stream maybe later before the game starts. Oh, we have national anthem playing. All right, and that was our national anthem there, and now they will most likely be starting to go into rosters, and I would be trying to help with the roster announcements, but I lost my roster paper. I apologize for that. But so right now they are announcing for Jet City.
Number 38, BD5. Number 0, Harley Smith.
Looks like the jammers, some of the main jammers to be watching tonight are going to be
Number 86, Jacqueline Hyde.
36, Jacqueline Hyde, and number 31,
Number 18,
although her hair is blocking the name, so I do not know it.
Number 14,
Perhaps before it starts, I will try to get myself a sheet of the roster again.
Number 99 for Ruby Rogers. Number 40, Teeny Baba. Number 86, Twisted Spinster. And number 10, Eva Derchi. The Indiana Propeller bench coach, Rosie. Give it up for the Jet City 88.
All right, so that was the announcements of Jet City, and so now it will be time for them to announce the roster for the Rodeo City Roller Girls.
Okay, folks, please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to your Rodeo City Roller Girls.
Oh, kind of clipping there a little bit.
Number 955 is Wild Rose. Number 4884 is Yo-Yo Ma. Number 42 is Nuclear Spinderelli. Number 51, Bliss Vinegar. Number 6, Sim Amendment.
So for Rodeo City Roller Girls, some of the numbers to be watching tonight for jamming, we're going to be looking for most likely 4884 which is Yo-Yo Mahler. We will probably be looking at number 14, What the Hell Vatica. And we'll be looking at number 29, Kelsassination. With possible substitutes of number 8, Hulissi Nation, and possibly number 3, Master Bowder. But we'll have to wait and see how that unfolds. But it looks like we are about ready to get started here with number 36, Jekyll and Hyde, jamming for Jet City. And we'll be looking at
on the jam line, we've got number 4884. That's Yo-Yo Mahler, jamming
4884.
And that is number 96.
Oops. I'm trying to update the scoreboard here.
Jamming for Jet City.
And we are off. Now, Yo-Yo Mahler makes an easy breakout to get to the lead jammer position, number 36. Now just breaks out of the jam. Yo-Yo Mahler coming back around already here to try to get some points. And she's getting a little stuck up in there. And she already calls the jam now with 0 points and a 4-point for Rodeo City Roller Girls. So a pretty quick jam there. If I can get my scoreboard to work here. Oh man. Alright, so now we are starting the next jam. It looks like we have What the Hell Vatica jamming for Rodeo City, and number 31 for Jet City jamming as well. And now we have score. What the Hell Vatica now takes lead jam position, making her way around the track once again to try to break through the pack and earn some points. Pack is looking very tight. Helvetica goes on the outside, makes an easy 4 points once again for Rodeo City. Three, 3-8-1, or not 3-3-8-1. 31 going around, but the lead jammer for Rodeo City stops the jam early. New sets come out for the next jam. Looks like Demolition Dovey will be jamming for Rodeo City. Everybody's getting excited here. So far we're off to a very good start. For the time being, I'm going to be taking away the jammer position until I can figure out the bugs in this. So as we get started here, number 10 for Jet City takes out for lead jammer, and Demolition Dovey has made it through, so she's now going around the track once more. Number 10 gets pushed outside for Jet City and calls off the jam. And I don't think my jam clock was working there. I apologize. Once I can get a confirmation on what the scores are, I will update those.
Once again, we see Yo-Yo Mahler jamming for Rodeo City, and that's Pretty Little Fly jamming for Jet.
And we are starting once again with the next jam. And it looks like number 14 for Jet City, and it looks like 4884 Yo-Yo Mahler for Rodeo City once again. And number 14 looks like she will be breaking out of the pack for lead jammer. Yo-Yo Mahler still trying to get through the defensive wall of Jet City as they're going around this first turn. And it looks like number 70 for Rodeo City is in the penalty box. Number 14 for Jet City gets pushed outside, and a penalty is called on number 40. And she is in the penalty box. So now it is 3 skaters for Rodeo City out against the 5, and she calls off the jam. And so we are looking at 4 points for Jet City. There could have been more, but I might have missed it.
Folks, none of this would be possible without our sponsors. Indigo Yoga of Ellensburg is Ellensburg's only full-time
So
yoga studio.
I'm going to make some corrections real quick. It is 11 points for Rodeo City and 8 points for Jet City. And the next jam will be starting now. We have, it looks like number 14 for Rodeo City, What the Helvetica. Number 70 for Rodeo City going back in from her penalty as number 40 from Jet City goes into the box. What the Helvetica has made lead jammer position and is working her way around to meet up with the pack once more. What the Helvetica goes down as she quickly gets back up and quickly breaks through. And another 4 points for Rodeo City. So now we are looking at 15-9 Rodeo City over Jet City as we are approaching the about 14 and a half. Oh, it's there. Oh. All right, and now we are going into our next jam. Devilish Dovey going as lead jammer, breaking out very quickly. And number 38 for Jet City still fighting to get through. Pack is moving around the first large turn there as number 6 for Rodeo City enters the pack. Number 38 following closely. And that is, I believe that was jam number 5. Rodeo City scoring 2 more points on that last jam as we get ready to go into 4884 for Rodeo City and I believe number 10 for Jet City. Oh, and number 10 makes an easy breakthrough to get lead jammer. 4884 still working through the pack as she's going around the first bend. Number 10 coming back in and quickly getting through, dodging and weaving through as she scores another 4 points for Jet City. Number 4884 for Rodeo City getting out and making her first trip around the track. Number 10 going through the defense as she calls off the jam. Looking at another 3 points as well for Jet City. The teams are now finishing getting lined up as we're ready to go into this next jam in about 10 seconds. The teams are both looking very fresh, looking very excited to be here, lots of good energy. All right, 1-5.
Rodeo City starting to block her down this jam.
And looks like number 14 for Rodeo City makes a quick breakthrough to get lead jammer, followed by number 14 for Jet City, who does get pushed out and will have to retrace. Number 14 coming back around, getting ready to go through the pack once again. Number 14 for Jet City getting sent to the penalty box, so this will be a Rodeo City power jam, meaning that there's going to be only one jammer, allowing them to have a good chance to score without worrying about the other jammer. Number 14 getting through for another 4 points for Rodeo City as they wait for her to return to the pack. And I do apologize, it does look like my clock is running a little fast now. It is supposed to be a 30-minute clock and ours is only a 20-minute clock. So for the time being we're going to pause the lead the head clock, and we're just going to keep it on. After that jam there, we had 24 points for Rodeo City. And here we go into our next jam, jam number 9. And number 3 for Rodeo City make an easy break on the inside to get lead jammer. Some girls are falling down here as we go around the first corner. And 96 for Jet City makes it out. Number 3 still fighting through the pack and gets into the inside, scores points and calls off the jam. Another 4 for Rodeo City. A very strong play there for Rodeo City as they took advantage of the inside lanes there, making sure that the Jet City defensive wall was pushed outwards to make Rodeo City an easy lane to score easy points. As we get ready to go into this next jam, it looks like we're going to have 4884 as Rodeo City's jammer and 31 as Jet City's jammer. In about 5 seconds, the next jam will be taken off. And now we're jumping into jam number 10. Number 30, I believe, sorry, 38. Number 38 jam for Rodeo City, or for Jet City, is giving our team a hard time as she does push out for lead jam. 4884 getting caught up in the wall there from Jet City. Slowly making her way around and gets out, breaks. Now going around the bend. 38 for Jet City now working on her way and calls off the jam as we get 2 points for Jet City. And now we have a new fresh batch of skaters. We have number 14 for Rodeo City, and Rodeo City looks to be one skater short, there. And we are about ready to jump into this jam number 11. Number 10 for Blue easily gets out and makes lead jam. Number 14 for Rodeo City still working to get through as number 10 for Jet City comes around. Being distracted by referee's whistle, number 14 gets through. Number 10 for Jet City gets sent to the penalty box, so now we're looking at another power jam for Rodeo City, and number 10 loses her lead jam status, so this jam should be going for the full 2 minutes this time. Number 14, What the Hell Vedeka, is slowly breaking through and gets out for another 4 points for Rodeo City. Vedeka now going around that first bend and now headed back in towards the pack to try to get through for another 4 points. And gets taken down by number 25 from Jet City. Now number 10 and number 49 coming out of the penalty box, and they're going to be helping to try to score some more points and keep that jammer out. Vedeka breaking through and making another 4 points towards Rodeo City. Now number 10 is now weaving back and forth through the gaps and gets another 4 points added on for Jet City. And now both jammers are headed back into the pack. Going to start working against those defensive walls. Vedeka taken down by the benches, and now we'll be going back to the end to start working again as number 10 gets pushed all the way through for another 4 points for Jet City. Number 14 still working on that defensive pack. Number 10 coming back in around, goes on the outside, then cuts back inside as Vedeka is pushed to the back of the pack from getting knocked out once again. Number 10 squeezes through the pack now and adds another 4 points for Jet City as she makes her tracks around, and Vedeka still working. Oops. And now the end of the jam there for an extra 3 points for Rodeo City at the very end of that jam there. The jam number might be a little inaccurate. We had some misclicks with the button. Yeah, it's and here we go, getting ready to get into this next jam. Excuse me. Number 10 or number 14 jamming for Jet City and number 6 jamming for Rodeo City. Number 6 working the inside, now going to the outside, trying to beat out the rest of the pack and takes lead jammer for Rodeo City. Number 14 still struggling with the back of the pack, trying to get through. Now number 6 is going around the bend as she's going to meet back up with the pack and see if she can break through for some extra points. Number 4-2 for Rodeo City out of the penalty box. Now, there they are, Rodeo City. So number 6 is still working on the very front of the pack there, just getting past one more body, but chooses to end the jam before she does. Still getting 3 points added on for Rodeo City. As we look into the next pack there, we see number 4884 for Rodeo City, and it looks like number 36 again for Jet City as we get ready to jump to this next jam. And here we go as we jump into the next jam. Already 36 making easy work of the pack as she gets through for lead jammer position. Yo-Yo Mauler still working on the back, trying to find a way through. And number 29 from Rodeo City sent to the penalty box. Number 36 quickly works through the pack and gets another 4 points added on for Jet City and calls off the jam. So unfortunately for that time, for Rodeo City, they were unable to score and capitalize on points. This next jam, we are looking 42-25. Apparently my score is a little off. However, we will be looking as the referees are tending to the score desk to see if maybe there's possible score error. And now we'll be looking to see. So the scores are 42 and 29. We apologize for any score mishaps that occurred there, and we'll be working harder to keep those as accurate as we possibly can. As number 3 for Rodeo City is working to the back of the pack, and number 38 for Jet City breaks out as lead jammer. We are looking at a star pass for Rodeo City, so the jammer decides to hand off her star helmet cover to the skater with the striped helmet cover, and before they can get through, they end the jam. As we go into this next jam now, there's nobody in the penalty box, so we'll have 5 and 5 for each team now. Number 14 for Rodeo City once again, and we have, it looks like number 10 once again for Jet City jamming. And as we start this next jam, everybody's starting off a little slow, but it soon starts to pick up as people start flying and falling, and people are getting bowled over as they are scrambling to get to that lead jammer position now. Very intense action here as number 14 for Rodeo City not struggling, but pushing hard to get through, and goes for lead jammer. Number 14 going around the bend with number 10 right on her heels as they both are looking to get into the pack first. What we'll probably see number 14 call the jam off before she can get in. And just as that, the jam is ended before number 10 can get ahead of number 14 and score some points. Number 4884 once again for Rodeo City as we start to go into this next jam, and number 14 for Jet City when we start this jam in about another 10 seconds. Okay, now the scores should be updated as Jet City takes lead jam, and number 4884 looks to be trying to get through, but is going to try to stop the jammer. And 4884 appears to have handed her star pass over to number 29, Kill Assassination. And Kill Assassination is now looking to try to get through the pack to make her way around the track to try to score some points for Rodeo City. Number 14 does break through all the pack, and now an extra 4 points is added on for Blue.
First time jamming this evening.
Number 14 now going through the pack as she makes it through for another 4 points added on to Jet City, as Rodeo City jammers struggling to find an entrance through that pack to get out. Number 14 does get pushed out of bounds, and so she will have to make her way back around the track now. And an extra 3 points now added for Jet City, as she was able to get up and continue because her blocker did fall on contact with the jammer. Jammer now going to the outside, gets blocked out, makes a very good recovery there, and makes it through the pack once again for another 4 points. Rodeo City now trying to find a way in and just not getting through that first pack. Number 14, however, does get sent into the penalty box. So as we go into this next jam, we will be looking at a power jam for Rodeo City. Very long and very intense jam there, as Rodeo City did seem to have some difficulties breaking through that pack to get into position for scoring. And as we go into this next bout, it will be a power jam. Oh, and we do have a timeout though from Jet City, it does look like. So now we're going to be taking a timeout as teams regroup, and it does look like an official review for Rodeo City. Rodeo City is going to be asking the refs some questions, possibly about a block that they wanted called on a certain player, or maybe some extra points, or whatever the case may be. We'll be getting a notification here momentarily as we get ready for this official review. While we do this, I'm also going to be trying to adjust this clock. The time was set to 20 minutes instead of 30 minutes, and currently we do not have a way to manually enter in the time. So looks like the referees have made a decision on whatever the review is that they were looking for, and we'll be hearing a explanation from them about what their call is here in just a minute. We hope everybody who is watching is having a good time. I apologize for any commentary mishaps that I may have said or accidentally said or did not say. It sounds like we'll be hearing a review here in just a second. All right, so the ref said that whatever it was that they were reviewing was not there. Nothing really happened. So we are about ready to start into this next jam, a power jam with number 6 skating for the Rodeo City. And now we're going to be working on the inside. Now we're going to the outside, and sneaks through and gets through for lead jammer. Now going around, and number 8-9 for Jet City is out of the penalty box. Number 14 standing up ready to get into the box to start, or getting out of the box to get into the pack there. Number 6 for Rodeo City making on the outside and gets another 4 points added on for Rodeo City. Number 14 for Jet City now working on getting through the pack to get into scoring position, but gets taken down from number 8's block for Rodeo City. Number 6, I believe, is not Devilish and Dovey, but Ankle Biter. I believe that is the correct name. I apologize for saying the wrong name previously, but Ankle Biter. And number 8, Hula C Nation, now working against number 14 for Jet City, as their jammer is still struggling to get through. Ankle Biter now making the spin around the jammer, but does take a fall. And as she's on the ground, calls an end jam. As we look at another 4 points for Rodeo City, and number 14 and Jet City unable to take advantage of situations and scoring points. Getting ready to head into this jam now, Vetica for Rodeo City, and number 36, it does look like for Rodeo City once again. As we start into this next jam, we will be looking at number 14 and number 96, number 96. Number 14, Vetica, gets taken to the ground as Jet City's jammer is now coming around, and she did get lead. So this jam will be up to her when she wants it to end. Now going on to the outside is Jet City, and number 14 for Rodeo City still working on the pack as Jet City does score another 4 points. Vetica for Rodeo City still working on the outside of that pack, trying to get through. And number 96 is now going through the middle. Now going to the outside. Number 14 still struggling to get in through the back. Number 96 for Blue now getting through and getting onto the outside and breaking through the rest of the pack to get another 4 points added to Jet City. Number 14 for Rodeo City now gets out and is in scoring position to be able to go back in. As she's going around that third bend there, 96 does try to get through the pack but decides to call off the jam. And we're looking at the last pass there, no more points added on, so it should be 50-55. Jet City starting out a little slow. Jet City starting out kind of slow, getting slow to get some points on, but now is taking the lead over Jet City as we are about 5-6 minutes into towards halftime. 488-4 goes on the inside and easily makes work and gets into the lead jammer position as number 384 Blue is still working on, gets pushed outside. 3884 for Red now going on to the outside and cuts back. Now struggling to get through that wall, but making quick work as she's slowly maneuvering through. Number 38 for Blue now going around, getting ready to try to score more points, but 4884 does call off the jam there as she gets a 4 point added on. We do have a timeout now for the blue team now is calling a timeout. Everybody getting some rest so that they can try to figure out what adjustments that they need to make as they finish out the last about 5 minutes of this quarter or of this half. The teams are starting to line up again, so it does look like we are about 10 seconds into starting the next jam here. All right, and here we go again as number 6, Ankle Biter, and number 10 for Blue City. Jet City, excuse me. And now the next jam starts off. Number 6 for Red, number 10 for Blue, and number 10 trying to work on the inside but does get pushed out. And number 6 still working on the back there as number 10 for Blue does get lead jam. Number 6 for red did pass the star on to number 8 Hula C Nation, who is now active jammer for Rodeo City. Number 10 did get pushed out as number 8 does go around, so now she is secondary jammer. However, number 10 for blue did call off the jam before she could make a round for scoring potential. So we have another 4 points added on for Jet City, and Rodeo City unable to convert.
Folks, you would not be hearing my lovely voice or hearing this wonderful music without Jet City's Beer Club
Vedeka for red and number 14 for blue as we get ready to go into this next jam now.
The Jet City's Beer Club of Washington is a group of spirited and dedicated to helping their community.
Number 10 going to work on the outside. Vedeka getting pushed back by the wall on Jet City's defense. However, 14 for blue is still struggling to try to get through as well. Both defensive teams are doing well at keeping their jammers occupied, keeping them where they want them. However, as I say that, number 14 does break out and takes lead jam for Jet City, as number 14, What the Hell Vedeka for Rodeo City, still trying to get through the Jet City defense. Number 14 now working on the inside of the pack and gets through for another 4 points added on to Jet City, and does call off the jam. Rodeo City struggling now to get their jammers through these lines to start getting in the scoring position as they start to slowly fall behind, as Jet City is taking a 9-point lead over Rodeo City. As we have about 10 seconds until this next jam starts. We have 4884 Hula C Nation for red and 36 for blue. As we start this jam now, Hula C Nation trying to get that quick shotgun burst on the inside, however does get pushed out by the wall of Jet City as their lead jammer breaks through. Quickly followed by 4884 for red, and we have 594 for blue going to the penalty box. 4884 racing to try to get in before she can make any points, and she does call off the jam. We will see, however, we do have 2 points towards Jet City, and we do have 1 point added on for Rodeo City as we get a timeout called for Rodeo City.
Rodeo City is also sponsored by Pita Pit, Ellensburg's go-to restaurant for pita bread sandwiches, soups, and salads. We're located 111 West 3rd Avenue in Ellensburg. They offer daily specials focused on fresh seafood.
We most likely will have about one more jam until we go into halftime, with Jet City now a 10-point lead over Rodeo City, 65 to 55. Jet City already back on the track, ready to get into this jam as Rodeo City breaks their timeout, and now we are headed in for most likely the last jam of the half. Number 8 Hula C Nation jamming for red, and number 38 will be jamming for blue. Now we are about ready, about 5 seconds in before this jam starts, and jam is now starting with Hula C Nation trying to get on the outside for a quick burst into primary. Number 38 for blue gets pushed out, however. Number 38 still working, trying to make her way around that triangle defense that Jet City is putting up against her. Number 38 now pushing around the pack. However, number 8 for red does get lead jam. Oh, but number 8 does get sent to the penalty box, meaning that this now 38 has lead jam and is power jam for Jet City, as number 38 does go through the middle of the pack and breaks out very quickly for an extra 4 points added on for Jet City. Jet City now going back around the bend as the defense readies her approach, putting up a strong wall, pushing her to the outside. However, unfazed by the wall, she gets through for another 4 points. Now, number 8 for Rodeo City is back on and will be trying to get points added back on before that jam ends and is called off. We have about 50 seconds left in this jam as number 8 for red does break through for her secondary jammer, but however, the jam is called off. So we had another 4 points added on for Jet City there. And we do have another jam coming out, which will be Vetica's jamming for red, and number 10, it looks like, jamming for blue. About 5 seconds or so until this jam will be starting again. And here we go. Our next jam is now taking off now.
What the hell, Vetica jamming for Rodeo City, Tequila Derchi jamming for Jet.
Both teams trying to push through as number 10 does break through for blue, giving them lead jammer status. Number 14 for red now, still struggling to get through that back as she goes on the outside and does clear through and gets secondary jammer. As number 10 now working the outside of Rodeo City's defensive wall as she does get in, calls off the jam, and gets 4 points added on to Jet City. Jet City really starting to heat up now from the first 5 or 6 jams. Now they're definitely picking up the pace, getting more aggressive, taking advantage of chaos that happens throughout the pack. Does look like it is either halftime or a timeout was called. Skaters are heading out of the arena, so it does look like we will be going into halftime now. As we go into halftime, we'll talk about a little bit of what happened at the end there. As I said, Jet City now really started out slow, was figuring out how Rodeo City's defense was taking off. Once they kind of found the weak points of it on the insides, going through the middle, they started taking off as we saw multiple lead jams from Jet City as they climbed about 25-30 points in those last few jams as Rodeo City was unable to put up any numbers on the board. So as we go into halftime, it will be 55 Rodeo City, Jet City 81. And we'll be starting on about jam 22. And we will be back in about 10-15 minutes, probably 10 minutes. We'll be back in to start the second half. All right, and now we are going to be jumping back in here, and we'll be starting the jams off with 4884 for red and 364 blue. We hope you were able to go and get some refreshments, relax a little bit before we get into this more roller derby action. About 5 seconds until the next jam starts. All right, and now we are off. Yo-Yo Mauler, number 4884 for red, getting pushed to the outside as 364 blue, working on that middle, trying to get in through. They're both struggling for that lead. It's getting pretty close, and blue does take it, lead jam. However, 4884 quickly takes the lead over her as 9-6, number 9-6, Jekyll and Hyde for blue does call off the jam before they get around the pack, since she knew that she was not going to be able to score points before 4884 was able to score. And now we have number 14 for red, and we have I believe that is 3-8, number 3-8 for blue. And we now start into this next jam now. 3-8 working on the middle. Vetica, number 14 for red, getting pushed onto the outside. 3-8 working on the front of the pack and gets through for lead position. 4884 getting pushed, trying to go through the middle now. Gets through and now is going around the track for her scoring position. Number 3-8 does knock over number 294 red as she tries to get through and does score points and calls off the jam. So we have 3 points added on for Jet City.
Folks, this next jam is brought to you by Argonaut Peak Physical Therapy, and they are also the penalty box sponsor.
Heading up to the jammer positions now, we have ankle biter number 6 for red and number 14 for blue. 5 seconds until the next jam starts, and we are off. Now number 6 working on the outside for red as blue, number 14 is trying to go through the middle. Number 6 gets pushed into the back now as she's struggling to get through with that pack. Number 14, however, is not having an easy time either. However, number 3 for red does get sent to the penalty box for a shoulder block. Number 14 now fighting up against number 8 for red as she tries to get lead jammer position. Does get it, and now is going around as number 6 for red does juke a blue jersey and does get through the pack now as she's making her way around the track once again. Number 14 for blue now going through the middle of the pack, making her way through, does call off the jam and does get 2 points added on for Jet City.
Looks like 2 points for the Aviators on that jam.
We have 4884 getting ready to jam for red and number 10 getting ready to jam for blue. As we go into, I do apologize, I do not believe it is jam 25. I do believe we are a little earlier than jam 25. At this time, I do not have the resources to be able to edit that. We are jumping in now as 4884 does get taken down at the start of the bout. Number 14 getting put up against the Rodeo City wall, does juke onto the outside to get lead jammer. Now going around, they are going to be looking to go on the outside, but does juke back into the middle and makes easy work of the pack as they get another 4 points added on to Rodeo City. Now jumping up to 90 points against Rodeo City's 55. Number 4-2 for red, though, does take the star pass and now is going around as number 4-9 for blue is in the penalty box with number 2-5. Number 10 does get another 4 points added on to Rodeo City. As I almost knocked the microphone off of the table there. Number 4884 does get 4 points, Rodeo City. Number 10 does call off the jam and does get another 4 points added on for Jet City.
Folks, if you're wondering what we're doing after this, we're going to the Pearl Bar and Grill for after party.
number 14 for red and number 9-6 for blue. It does look like as we get ready to go into this next jam. Number 14 trying to get on the outside, does get pushed out by 314 from Jet City, and now is working on the inside, gets through, does fall but recovers quickly, and does get lead jam as number 1-8 for blue goes into the penalty box, and number 4-0 for blue goes to the penalty box. Jammer for blue does go into the penalty box, and so now this is a power jam for Rodeo City, as 14 for red does add another 4 points onto the board. Going around now once more. Everybody's getting pushed out of the way, and she does stay on her feet, and she gets around for another 4 points. About a minute and 10 left in this jam, as our Rodeo City Roller Girls are looking strong as they're about ready to go in for another scoring potential. Going on the outside, now going to cut back inside as they're waiting for their jammer from Jet City, as they are about to get out of the box once again. However, the jam is called off before she can take a chance to score. It looks like 3 points for Rodeo City was added on there, as we see a hand signal for an official review, or it could have just been a timeout. But it did look like an official review was called, though we may not see it. Having some audio difficulties here. We will try to resolve that. And that does sound better. Alright, so it does look like here we will be getting ready to start, as number 3 for red and number 38 for blue get ready to take on their respective defenses. Number 3 working on the inside as number 3 for blue gets pushed onto the outside. Both scrambling to get into that main position there. Both get pushed to the back. 3-8 for blue goes on the outside. Does get knocked out, but her blocker did fall, so she's able to jump back in. Does look like 3-8 will be taking blue, as number 3 for red does get outside. Number 3-8 does now going into the pack, as number 3 is following about 20 feet behind her. She does take a fall and does call off the jam as to prevent any more points to be added on. We are looking at 2 more points added on for blue team. So they will be breaking the double digit or into the triple digits. I will slide this number over a little bit as to fit the screen a little better. As we do have Yo-Yo Mauler number 4884 jamming for red, and probably number 10 for blue. Number 10 for blue is working on the inside and does get through for lead jammer position, as we see number 4884 for red following close in tail, looking to get as close as she can, possibly make her call the jam off early before she can score. And she does call off the jam, but she does get 1 point as well, so we are looking at 101 for Jet City and 7 points, or 70 points for Rodeo City. And as we go into this next jam, we will be having number 14 again for red, and actually it looks like we'll be having 14 and 14 for red and blue. So I will do my best to make sure I'm identifying which color I am commentating for. Oh dear, I did forget to press the jam button again, so that jam timer will be a little off. I apologize. 14 red does get knocked down and taken to the back, as 14 blue does get through the pack and now is lead jammer. Defenses are starting to scramble to build up their defenses as the lead jammer comes back in, trying to go through the middle, does get knocked down. However, our team gets knocked down too, but stands up and recovers quickly. She now goes to the back of the pack, as number 424 red does take the star pass and is now active jammer for Rodeo City. Number 14 blue is getting walled out by Rodeo City's defenses as 4-2 is getting pushed out by Blue's defenses. However, does recover and is now around as secondary jammer. Number 14 for Blue trying to get onto the outside and with no luck decides to call off the jam and take the 3 points. A very exciting jam, a very heavy jam there. Everybody flying, working very hard to keep their prospective jammers blocked and allow their own jammers to get through for points. We will have number 6, Ankle Bite Her, and number 98, I believe, Jekyll and Hyde for Blue.
Come join us at the Eastern Community Memorial Day weekend every year.
And now we start into this next jam. Number 98 working on the inside, now pushing to the outside. Now going to be going back and forth, trying to find any hole that they can exploit to get through, as they do for lead jammer. Number 6 now working on the inside, trying to push, trying to get her way through to get into out of the pack, and she does, right as 9-6 does come in, but she does get stopped. And going on to the outside as number 6 does head back into the pack to start working on getting some points. However, before she can, we do get end jam call as another 4 points gets added on to Jet City. For this next jam now, we'll have 4884 for red, and we will have number 38 for blue. However, we do have a blue in the penalty box, as Jet City almost had too many people out on the court if they include the one in the penalty box. And now we jump into this jam. 38 trying to work on the middle is Yo-Yo Mahler. 4884 does take it from the outside into the inside to get lead jammer. 38 now following closely behind 4884. She'll most likely try to get in, get past a hip or two, and call off the jam before 38 can get past any hips of Rodeo City and collect points for herself. 4884 now hustling real through, does get past one, as 38 does try to catch up with the rest of the pack. Jam is called. 0 points added on for Jet City, as we see, I did not see a hand for purple go up. I do not know. 2 points. We have 2 points for Rodeo City, so now they have 72. One player does go off because there's still a member of the team in both boxes. However, on Rodeo City side, their jammer, number 4884, is in the box, allowing number 10 to take lead jam as we go into a Jet City power jam. For number 84 for Rodeo City now in the penalty box. I have made a quick error on the score. I will update that momentarily. Though it doesn't make much of a difference, because for number 10 for blue just scored another 4 points, balancing out my previous error. Now number 4884 working on the outside of the pack to try to get through, cuts back through the middle and does break through, going around her first initial pass. However, it is end jam called, as 4884 is almost taken out by a referee. Now we have a fresh new set of skaters on each side, as we are looking at the 14s, once again 14 red and 14 blue, both taking spots ready to jam in this next jam. Have about 5 seconds left of this break until we are ready to start once again. Next jam takes off as 114 goes to the outside, 1 goes to the inside. And now red 14 cuts to the inside and takes lead jammer. As she goes around, 14 blue just makes out to the outside to get her break through her initial pass. Now 14 red gets caught up within her blockers and is now pushing to try to get through, as Rodeo City defense now gets ready to take on. However, the jam is called off as Rodeo City collects 4 more points and not allowing Jet City to score. Number 3 for red and 96 for blue are lining up to jam as our defenses get ready to take them on. Oh, I do need to adjust the Rodeo City score. It does say, oh no, never mind. I'm good. All right, and now here we go. 9-6 trying to go on the inside, trying to make quick work of that pack, as she does, and takes lead jammer. However, 9-6 does get through to the penalty box as number 3 is now pushed back. Even though this is a Rodeo City Power Jam, let us see if they can capitalize on this situation. As she does get through and now is going around, gets through her initial pass, and now going through the track around again to try to score points for Rodeo City. Number 9-6 for Blue does stand up and is ready to exit the penalty box momentarily as this power jam does come to an end. So far unable to get a full pass and does call off the jam and collects 3 points for Rodeo City before Jet City can get back in and try to score points for their team. 4-8-8-4 once again going in for Rodeo City, and 3-8 going in for Blue.
Folks, make sure to join us, Rodeo City Overflow, on Saturday, May 25th.
And now we are about ready to jump into this next jam.
This is every year they have a big Christmas car show.
Yo-Yo Mauler taking it on the inside, taking on, does get pushed out, now working on the outside as 3-8 cuts to the middle and takes lead for Blue. Star pass in commence as 4-8-8-4 looks to pass the Star, decides to hold on to it and does get through the pack. 3-8-4 Blue now working on the outside and does easily get through the pack and calls off the jam for another 4 points added on to Jet City. As we go into this next jam now, it will be 14 for Red and 10 for Blue jamming. Getting ready up on the line. And we have about 7 seconds until we are ready to start this next jam here. Teams are lined up and ready to go. Making quick score updates as now number 10 still working on trying to get to her initial pass. Number 14 does get through. Number 14 is lead. However, she does call off the pass because she was pushed out before they had a chance to score, and she did not want number 10 for Jet City to score. Now we are getting our new lineups as number 3 for Red and number 14 for Blue are lining up as we get ready to go into this next jam. You can see it on the faces of these skaters. The wear and tear of this bout is starting to get to them. They are pushing, they are working very hard. A lot of people who don't understand derby just think it's just skating around in a circle, but it's far from that. It is very physical. It's very demanding physically and mentally. As we go around this first bend, number 14 for Blue does take lead jammer with number 3 following close behind as number 74 Red is sent to the penalty box. Number 14 now makes it through the inside of the pack and calls off the jam as she reclaims 3 points for Blue and 0 points added on for Rodeo City. For 8-8-4 up on the line for Red as 96 Jekyll and Hyde is taking jammer position for Blue team. Defenses are getting set up and we are about ready to jump into this next jam in about 2 seconds. Both teams now working on the insides, getting pushed out by their respective defenses as Yo-Yo Mauler 4-8-4 does go to the inside and takes over lead jammer for Rodeo City. Number 96 working on that outside, trying to get through her initial pass as 4-8-8-4 for Red is making it hot and quick. Does get pushed onto the wall. Now looking for her moment to get through to score points. Goes on the outside, does get meet by a blocker as 9-6 now gets passed through 1, 2, 3 jammers or blockers as 4-8-8-4 closes it out with 4 points added on for Rodeo and 2 points added on for Jet City as we take a timeout.
Produce is sponsored by Efficient Fitness. Their new business located in 516
Both teams looking for any chances now as the game's starting to work its way down towards the wire now. Both teams are trying to catch their breath, trying to think about everything that's going right, how they can fix what's going not so right. But everybody is still very amped up. The crowd is very energetic tonight. The teams are slowly starting to line up again as we get ready to get into this next jam. Looks like we have a skater making blowing kisses to the camera as a possible gratitude towards the fans who are coming out and watching and supporting as we jump into this next jam with number 14 for red and number 38 for blue. 38 for blue working to get through the pack as number 14 for red does make it out and takes lead jammer. Both defenses now trying to work their positions in favor for their respective jammers as we're going around the last bend there, back onto the straight. 14 does get pushed outside as 38 was going to score. However, 14 did cut off the jam to prevent any scoring to happen. Now we'll be looking at number 3 and number 10, 3 for red, 10 for blue, as we are ready to get into this next jam in 5 seconds. Both teams very hesitant to get off the gun there. Almost thought that they didn't blow the whistle. However, now they are going hard and going fast, trying to break through, trying to get to their own, as number 10 does go up against number 8 and does get through. So lead jam for blue gets to their initial pass. Now as it looks like number 8 does take the star for number 3 for red. So now number 8 is our active jammer for blue as for red as she gets to her initial pass. Number 10 is struggling to get through as she calls off the jammer. Does successfully add on 2 more points for Jet City. 3 points for Jet City as Rodeo City unable to score. Number 14 for blue going up to the jam line as 4884 for red is also lining up. 2 very fast, 2 jammers that rely on their speed and their mobility and their skates to get through and around opponents rather than just bulldozing through. As we now jump in, 14 trying to go on the outside, as well as 4884 who successfully gets through as lead jammer. 14 now completing her initial pass. Number 6, however, does get a block, does able to stay inside. Oh no! As number 14 tries to go out, she does capture the laptop for the game scoreboard, ripping it out of the wall, as now the game does not have a functioning scoreboard. Fortunately, our live stream still does. A very tragic event to see unfold there as the scorekeeper's table now tries to build that computer back into place. As 4884 does get through, each team gets through for another 4 points added onto blue and red. Both aggressively going around the corners as we get ready for this next pass to try to get some points. 4884 does get through effortlessly and ends the jam. As we look at, I'm not sure how many points that was, and quite frankly, neither does the scorekeeper's table, since their computer was very brutally ripped out of the wall by the skates of number 14 for blue. I do hope that my score is a where they need it to be. Now I do not have any reference since we do not have an electronic scoreboard operating for the bout itself. As we take this timeout, some of the refs are looking at the rope set on the track to make sure there's no wear and tear and replacing with tape as needed. And the rest of the NSOs, the non-skating officials, the NSOs, aiding to try to restore the score table as both teams are up on the line ready to go. Unfortunately, our technology is not. And while I have you here, while there's not a lot of action going on, I want to take a time to thank all the not the followers, but the people who are tuned into our live stream broadcast on Twitch right now. On the Twitch website, if you notice at the bottom of the page, there are some very large icons for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Those clicking on those buttons will take everybody to Rodeo City Roller Girls social media profiles on those respective websites, so that take those to their social media sites. Anytime during this game or after the bout, please go to all their social media websites, leave likes, leave follows, leave subscriptions, and you can also follow them on Twitch and receive live notifications for the next time that they do go live, which I believe is May 11th. They will be live once again here, and we will be broadcasting that once again for everybody who wants to watch on Twitch. And after the game's over, we will have video on demand here within the next week or so, most likely uploaded to their YouTube. So make sure in a week or so, go onto Rodeo City Roller Girls YouTube channel and see if this game is posted up there for viewing on demand. Next time the bout comes around, hopefully we will have, for our live broadcast, we will have better working clock and a better working jammer scores or jammer name on the scoreboard. Today was the first day that we had this scoreboard for the live broadcast, and most of the problems we have is user error, not software error, and I apologize. It does look like we are about ready to get into this next jam. In about 5 seconds here, they will be taking off to the races. And here we go after a brief intermission. Number 14 for Red, trying to go on the outside, does get knocked down. 9-6, however, does get knocked down on the inside. Both jammers headed back to the back of the pack, to start working on their initial pass once again. Both teams working on the middle, trying to do their best to get on the inside. And it does look like, 9-6 almost had initial pass in lead jam, but she was knocked out of bounds and had to return to the back. However, this time she takes a different approach and is able to take lead jammer for blue. However, 14 Red does quickly make through too and is now racing to get to the pack first to try to score a point. However, lead jammer for blue does not allow it and ends the jam before any points are scored. After that brief cool down, I'm sure both teams were able to get nice breathers, get some water, get nice and refreshed, ready to go. Now everyone's going to be going very aggressive once again. 5-1 is trying to figure out where she's going as we get ready to jump into this next jam. Next jam here, we are looking at number 10 for blue as she takes lead, and number 6 for red as she's working on the back of the defenses, trying to get through her initial pass. Number 10 goes on the outside, ducks below the block from number 8 and gets through for 4 points on blue. The jam is called off as we are ready to go in, as I'm going to try to grow this scoreboard a little bit. this number to make that a little more friendly to see. And we are ready to go into this next jam. 4884 for red and 38 for blue on the jam line. Oops. I did not hit the button correctly for this next jam. Hello. Oh. And now the jam clock is going as we have lead jammer 38 for blue, as Yo-Yo Mauler for red is now going back through. However, blue does call off the jam as she scores 4 more points for Rodeo City. Now going into this next jam, which it does say jam 44, but I believe it's more jam around 40 or 41. We do have 14 for red and 14 for blue up on the jam line as the defenses get ready.
140 for the Jet City Aviators, 295 for the Rodeo City Holders.
Number 14 working on the front of the pack there, going on the outside. Attempted shoulder. However, she stays standing and gets through for lead jammer as 14 blue now working on the outside of Rodeo City's defense. 14 red now getting through, about ready to try to get some points, and does successfully break through the pack. Scores 4 points and calls off the jam for Rodeo City. Rodeo City still working on breaking into the triple digits now, as well. I wish I knew what time it was, but I unfortunately do not have that information readily available. However, I do know that number 6. Oh, I am mistaken. Number 70 for red now jamming for Rodeo City, as number 96 takes jammer for blue. Number 70 going on the inside, however, does take a fall and is now pushed to the back as 96 takes over lead jammer for blue team. Number 70 now working on the inside, going through the middle now, and does break through as the pack is too far and must regroup. And now 96 breaks through the pack and gets another 4 points added on, as number 70 is completing her initial pass, ready to take on the pack once again. However, 96 does end the jam before 70 can make it through the pack to get any extra points for Rodeo City, which will end that jam. There we go. And now we are looking at 4884 and 10. 4884 for red, 10 for blue on the jam line, as our new set of skaters get ready on the track. All right, Yo-Yo Mauler now taking on the outside. Number 4884 working on that defense. Does get through the outside and does take lead jammer for Rodeo City, as number 10 now going on to the inside and taking her initial pass as well. 4884 going around the bend there as she is ready to go through the pack, as blue, however, had very few people since many of their members were in the penalty box. So another 4 points added on for Rodeo City, as they are almost breaking the triple digits. Going into this next jam now, we are going to be looking at 14 for red and 38 for blue, as skaters scrambling to get onto the track ready for this next jam.
Score right now is 1 point Jordan, 99 for Jet City.
Both teams hesitating to take off to the races now until 14 for red does start the initial breakthrough, going to the outside, taking a fall with some team members. However, 38 was pushed into the back, and so she was unable to get through as well. Now 14's still working, does get pushed down. Now blue is going to go to the back of the track to make 14 for red go back to the point of impact as well. 3-8 working on the inside of the pack, that does break through for lead jammer. Number 14 for red now having some difficulty getting through that defensive wall, but keeps a smile on her face regardless. Does take off the star, getting ready to pass it, most likely to their pivot, which looks to be number 8-4. However, she does decide to put the star back on as 3-8 for Jet City adds on another 4 points. 14 does get through for her initial pass and is taking her time, catching her breath as she makes it around for the initial. And 3-8 now working on the outside, looking ready to call the jam. Possibly not though. She does passes through and calls off the jam as we are looking at another 2 points, 3 points added on for blue team. We do have a timeout called by Rodeo City here. Possibly taking it in to get a huddle, talk about what they need to do for the next few jams that are in this game.
As corporate sophisticated and unique as our Ellsworth community. Ellsworth Community Radio has its studios in
Actually, it doesn't really look like any huddles or whatsoever were taken, so now possibly just a 30-second time to catch your breath, kind of, flush any mistakes, get those flushed out of your mind as we get ready to get into this next jam, which does look like we will have number 14 for blue, and I'm unable to currently identify a jammer for red.
Tuesday, April 30th from 5 to 8 p.m. We will make 50 cents for every beer sold. Also, there will be a 50-50 raffle.
Right, and the timeout comes to a conclusion as we get ready to go in here. It does look like number 6 for red is our jammer. Number 14 for blue. All right, and now it looks like we will be having number 6 working on getting through the front of the pack there to get her initial pass completed. Number 14 getting stuck up by the Rodeo City defensive wall as number 6 does go through for lead jammer for Rodeo City. Number 14 struggling to get through until some of her blockers get in and intervene, and now she's working again as she takes the inside and gets her initial pass done. Number 6 for Rodeo City now working against the defense for Jet City as she takes it to the outside, collects 4 points, and ends the jam. And that does look like that will be the final for this bout. There will be an unofficial review at the end to confirm any missing scores, and I will update my score as need be. But however, it does look like Jet City will take it 151 over Rodeo City 103 in a very high energy, high impact bout as we finish up this season. I do believe there will be at least one more home bout on May 11th as both teams congratulate each other on a hard-earned victory and a hard-fought battle. I want to once again thank all of our viewers who are on Twitch right now watching this, and once again ask that everybody who's watching, if you want to continue to support our Rodeo City Roller Girls, to go onto their Instagram, go onto their Twitter, go onto their Facebook and YouTube, leave a like, leave a follow, leave a subscription, follow them on Twitch here, make sure you turn on all of your notifications so that you know next time they go live, you'll be there to watch it. As we wrap up this, I am Zach. My name is Zach, and I was your commentator. And I thank you once again for coming out, and we hope to have you join us next time for more Rodeo City Roller Girls Roller Derby action.